Have you ever felt like happiness is an elusive thing, always out of reach, no matter how hard you try? I know I have. There was a time in my life when I felt stuck. It was about 2 years ago. I remember waking up each morning with this heavy feeling in my chest. It felt like I was carrying the weight of the world. On the surface, everything seemed perfect. I had a great job. I was living in a beautiful apartment in Switzerland, in an awesome relationship. I had all the things that were supposed to bring me happiness, or at least that's what I thought. But instead, I felt empty. And it wasn't just me. I noticed that everyone around me, my colleagues, my friends, people online, were saying the same thing. I should be happy, but I'm not. And it got me thinking, why do so many of us feel this way? Why does happiness feel like an endless chase? Something we're always reaching out for, but never quite catching. Could it be that we are chasing happiness the wrong way? One of the reasons we struggle to be happy is that we're constantly comparing ourselves to others. I remember the day when it hit me hard. I was sitting on my sofa, scrolling through social media, and everyone's life seemed perfect. Smiling faces, fancy dinners, awesome vacations. Everyone seems to have their life put together. And there I was, alone in my apartment, feeling completely out of place. It's funny how logically we know that what we see online is just a filtered version of reality, is not the full picture. But it doesn't always feel that way, right? We end up measuring our own worth based on this filtered version of reality. And it's exhausting. And then there's stress. We're living in a world that is constantly on the move. And I remember when I was working in the corporate world, I was working long hours, workaholic here up until now. I had a full to-do list. I was feeling overwhelmed, and in the evening when I got home and I was relaxing on my sofa, instead of feeling relieved, I would feel drained. It was like all the energy I had in me was gone. It felt like I was running a race with no finish line. And I'm guessing you can relate to this feeling too. We are always on, whether it's work, social media, the constant noise of modern life. But here's the thing, happiness doesn't have to be complicated. I remember the day when things changed for me. It was a particularly overwhelming day at work. I just finished an endless meeting and I was super stressed, and I decided to do something naughty, something simple actually. I decided to take a walk outside. No phone, no music, just the sound of nature and my footsteps. And as I walked, I started noticing the little things, the leaves, the stones, the birds chirping, the way the sun felt on my skin, how the air felt a little cooler under the trees. And for the longest time in my life, I felt calm. It was a small moment, but it reminded me that happiness isn't always in big achievements or grand moments. Sometimes it's just about being present in the moment and appreciating the small things. Now, here's something really interesting. Psychologists like Sonia Lyubomirsky have explored the so-called happiness set point theory. This theory suggests that around 50% of our happiness is determined by genetics, something we can't control. I believe that first this is super high, but there is good news. Wait for it. 10% of happiness is determined by our circumstances, things like income, relationships, health. And the best part, 40% of happiness is determined by something we can control, our habits, mindset, actions. Isn't that wonderful? This is where it gets tricky. There is something called the hedonic treadmill. It's the idea that no matter what happens to us, whether if it's winning the lottery or experiencing something tragic like a severe injury, we tend to return to our baseline level of happiness. A famous study actually shows this. When comparing lottery winners to people that suffered severe injuries, researchers found that after some times, both groups reverted to their original level of happiness. It's proof that our brains quickly adapt and our excitement or our pain fades, leaving us back where we started. And I can testify to that. I used to associate my happiness to something that I will achieve. When I decided to move from Romania to Switzerland, I thought that when I will see myself in Switzerland, then I will experience continuous bliss. No, it wasn't like that. Then I struggled to find a job for 9 months, as much as to deliver a baby. And I thought, when I will find a job in Switzerland, I will be happy. No, my brain quickly adapted and it returned to the baseline level of my happiness. And think about your life. I invite you to do that and evaluate what is your baseline level of happiness. The good news is that with awareness and intentional habits, we can step off this hedonic treadmill and boost that 30% of happiness that we do have control over. That's when I started thinking differently. What if we are looking at happiness in the wrong way? What if happiness is something we can cultivate through small daily habits? So I started experimenting. I started journaling. The most popular one is gratitude journaling. Me, I like to write 3 things that I am proud of during that day, something that I would consider a win. And it can be something small, like I talked to my mom. I started spending time outside. I reduced time spent on social media. I made it a habit to connect with people I care about. And slowly I began to notice a shift. These weren't huge life-changing moments. When I did my public speaking course, I was asking, when will I have the breakthrough? And the teacher explained to me that there most likely won't be a wow moment. It will happen gradually, bit by bit. It's the same with happiness. It's taking small, consistent action that bring you a little bit of joy every day. So I realized happiness isn't something we chase, it's something we create one day at a time. My intention is to show you how to do this. I will launch a 7-day happiness challenge. It will be completely free here on YouTube. It's all about these small daily habits. We'll tackle one habit each day. I promise they are simple, not time consuming, something we can all include in our agendas. And my goal is to help you step by step discover what truly makes you happy. So if you are ready to start this journey with me, hit the subscribe button and activate the notifications so you don't miss any part. Because happiness doesn't have to be a destination we strive for. It's a journey we create, one small step at a time. And I'd love for you to join me in this path to a happier, more fulfilled life. Remember, happiness is not something ready made, it comes from your own actions. Dalai Lama. Have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.